Now, how many of you have ever gotten in trouble? Raise your hand if you've ever gotten in trouble. Yeah, look at this. Okay, hands down, hands down. Until I walked over to him, what is your name, son? Greg. Craig, we are so proud of Craig because Craig, how old are you, Craig? 10. He is 10 years old, and Craig has never gotten in trouble. Oh, you have? Oh, you have? Okay, let me tell you what, all right, now I'm going to tell you just a brief little bitty story about one time when I got into trouble. If I'm there to teach a writing workshop, then I'll focus more on writing, even if I'm there just to perform a book that I've written or to tell stories. I always, at the beginning or the end, I always talk about the relationship between telling stories and writing stories. There's some major differences. One, you don't need nearly as many adjectives, adverbs in the telling of the story, because they know if it's quiet by you lowering your voice. You know, they know it's kind of scary because you've created that kind of atmosphere. So in the written page, you need more adjectives. You need to describe what things look like. You need to describe people. So if I'm telling it, I can give a picture of what someone's like by my body language, by my voice. Good stories have two things. First thing they have is what? Say it out loud. Trouble. Trouble. Good stories have trouble. And then a great story, what else does it have? You learn something from the trouble. Okay? You learn something from the trouble. When I was, I know there's not anybody here 10 years old, but when I was 10, oh, some of y'all are 10. What about that? Hands down, hands down. When I was 10 years old, I rode my big brother's bicycle. I had a bicycle, but the wheels were too small. It was for a little kid. I was 10 years old. I didn't need to ride that little bitty baby bicycle. It wasn't a baby bicycle, but the wheels were small. My big brother had a big old bicycle, swing bicycle, big old wheels, hand brakes. He had little streamers from the handlebars. It was bad. It was bad. And you could get on my big brother's bicycle, and you could ride that thing, and man, you didn't even have to stop at stop signs because you could drive it faster than a car could run. It was bad. And I didn't want to ride my little stinky old bicycle. It was like a little baby would ride. You had to stop, and it would go fast. You could pedal, 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 and you'd still go put, 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 put. I didn't like my little stinky old bicycle. But on the page, you have to describe in detail. And one thing I always like to talk to the kids about is the sensory words. And I know everywhere I go that so many good teachers will talk about those because they all know, even second grade kids, they all know what I mean. And I ask them to name the 5 senses, and they can name them better than I can. I'm getting old, you know. But those sensory words and how important they are on the written page. You know, it wasn't no good anyway. So my big brother wasn't home, and I knew my big brother had one rule for me. Who could guess what that rule was? Yes. Don't touch, yeah. Well, just don't ride. It was don't touch my bicycle, right? Well, he wasn't home, and I wanted to go visit my friend, so what do you think I did? Raise your hand. What do you think I did? Yeah. Yeah.
Went to go drive it?
Yeah.
You went to ride it?
I went to ride what?
The bike.
See, if you're writing, you have to use the whole thing. You can't just say, you went to ride, have to say, you went to ride your big brother's bicycle. Have to tell the whole thing when you're writing. You got that? That when they read a writer that they really like, they notice how many of the sensory, the touch, the feel, the sight, the smell, how many of those words are used, because that's what draws you into the story. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just say, you went riding on it. No, you got to say, you went riding on your big brother's bicycle, or you went riding on that forbidden bicycle of your big brother. You have to say the whole thing, so it's really clear to everybody. All right, you're right, though. That's exactly right, what everybody said. I went riding on the forbidden bicycle of my big brother. I hadn't ridden about 50 feet when I didn't even notice that some high school kids were doing horrible things. They were throwing glass Coke bottles out of the window and busting them against the concrete curb. So what do you think happened when I'm just looking and trying to flirt with the girls and letting them see how bad I am? Hey, don't talk to me. I was 10 years old. You think I couldn't flirt with girls? I could. I was 10, man. I was bad. So what do you think happened? Yes.
That trouble is always there, but the real, if seen rightly, the real purpose of trouble is to make you stronger having gone through it.
I ran into something, yeah, but that's not detailed enough. You have to picture like you're looking at a camera, but you're seeing the whole world. And then you have to focus the camera down where, okay, he runs into something, but that's not detailed enough. You focus it down. He runs into something with a bicycle. That's not detailed enough. He runs into something with his tire. That's still not detailed enough. He ran into a piece of broken glass with the tire, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you're telling it, or when you're writing it, you have to really get down to the detail. You got it? Okay.
And that's what I like kids to carry away from the lessons, that trouble is there. Don't run away from it. Face the trouble, but if you learn to write about the trouble and let your art come from the trouble, then trouble is a thing of strength. It makes you dig deeper and pull more creative things out of yourself than if things are smooth.
I got off that bicycle and I thought, whoa, no, she's gonna kill me. And then I thought, oh, my mama's gonna take up for me. And then I thought, no, she won't. Because mom and daddy would say, what would they say to me about the whole thing?
I always want to tell people that greatness comes from trouble. You can't tell me a great person ever that has not had real troubles early on. Otherwise, they wouldn't be inspired to overcome that greatness.